So, Jamie, essentially what my question to you is this. I'm going to play devil's advocate. What your observation would be if you had to give someone advice, you know, this other person. How is it that a person that doesn't have a support system, but what's the recipe that a person would be able to use to assemble the type of drive that it is that you were able to muster?
Well, you know, I think I've always had a certain amount of drive. And I believe I was just blessed with that. And I believe that everybody has something in them. And the only thing that I can really say, if people are surrounding you with a shroud of doubt, you're being forced to dig deeper into your own desires. And you have to be...
Where does that lie? Is it physical? Is it metaphysical?
It might be a combination of all of it. The thing that I know that is if you're in a situation that you're not happy with, and you take any steps to correct it, that each step leads to the next step. So whether or not that very first step is the one that takes you to that place where you can wake up every day because you want to, you're in a world that you're creating.
A different door.
A different door. And every step that you take, no matter how hard it seems, at that point, on that day, as long as you convict it, and as long as you believe that that step is a step that comes from within you, as soon as you take that step, the thing you need to know is that the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the sum of all the steps that you take, based on what you believe, you're going to end up where you want to be.
Okay, so practically speaking, let me give you a word problem, so to speak. Ted wants to be a race car driver and has some success and thought to himself, man, if I could devote the 40 hours a week that I'm here or the 50 hours a week that I'm here to what it is that I do, what's he do with the pizza dough in his hand right there?
Well, what Ted doesn't realize is that Ted's already taken the first steps because he's already doing it part-time. He's already trying to involve himself. And you just said that he's thinking about it. He does part-time out at the track, whatever the case might be. He's taking steps. Now, if he needs to assess his entire situation. Okay. What do I have that I don't need? What can I sacrifice?
Kind of feng shui his life.
Yeah, what can I sacrifice here to add to my life here? Now, if it's a material thing that he has to sell to have a little bit of money to survive on while he's taking these steps, because if he believes that he can be that race car driver, then the only thing stopping him is him. Now, he may have to work part-time as a pizza guy to fulfill his full-time dream.
A, he's already thought about it. B, he's already put some time into it. And then C, take an honest examination of his life. And
it could be as simple as going through everything in his apartment and getting rid of everything that doesn't have to do with what he's dealing with right now. If I don't need it, and that's just that is a symbolic way of cleaning your mind and starting with a fresh slate. If you step off that ship with no plan, there's a chance that you could fail.
Plan.
If you put a plan together, no matter how slight, once you have the starting point, you can always add to it. The way I did it was I put a dry erase board up in my studio and I wrote down a series of goals.
Create a context.
Create a context. You are putting together a curriculum for your life.
Right.
For the way you want your life to be. I want to be instructed as a professional driver this year. I want to be able to explain to somebody why it is I want to be a race car driver. I want to be able to pursue my passion of car driving, and I want to be able to instruct. Or however it may break down in your life, put those goals down. I want to have a sponsorship as a race car driver by the end of next year or in 2 years.
Is it just as simple as just making a list?
It's absolutely that simple. Because once it's written down and it's in black and white and it is a tangible, it is now not a thought.
And you have to acknowledge it.
That's right.
And
now,
if you choose not to follow it, then you can't expect results.
And you can always cross it off the list.
Right.
If you obtain that goal, you cross it off the list. If you decide that goal doesn't fit the context, cross it off the list. But regardless, it's on a list. And you have to look at that list every day. And whether you want to or not, with that thing in place, and it's, I hate to make it sound like it's that simple, but pen and paper, a list of goals, a list of ideals, a list of of things that create a direction for you will inevitably and directly affect your life. It goes from a dream in your life to your life being your dream. So in your mind, and only in your mind, are these things a perceived obstacle. So as you climb over those obstacles and realize that there's really no obstacle, because now you're mentally crossing them off.
Right.
And the other thing that people need to realize, in my opinion, is that as you're living your life, and your life becomes the dream that you dreamed before, the only time that life is a dream again is after it's come to fruition and you're looking back on it. Because when you're in it, it is simply your life. And I know this because I used to sit and dream about doing what I'm doing right now. Well, I have those things, and I do those things 20 hours a day. And to me, it is no longer dreamlike. It is simply my life. But as I stand here today and look back 5 years ago, I realize what it was like to enter into a dream state. But now the dream has become my life.